こんばんは。英語で国内ニュースキャスターの内田沙羅です。ニュースの前に番組からのお知らせです。ご要望の多かったニュースの原稿をウェブサイトに公開し始めましたので、ぜひご活用ください。
私たちがいつも読んでいる英語のスクリプトのことですね。
URL は概要欄に記載しております。それでは今日のニュースをお届けします。
Iran and China foreign ministers met in Beijing on the 6th. Iran's Alakchi met with China's Wang Yi. During the meeting, they emphasized the close relationship between the two countries. This meeting took place ahead of an expected meeting between U.S. President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping.
Police rearrested the father, Yuki Adachi, on murder charges. The victim, Yuki Adachi, was found in a mountain in Nantan City. Authorities suspect the father strangled the boy inside a public toilet. The father was first arrested for disposing of the body. Investigators believe a personal conflict may have led to the crime.
On the foreign exchange market on the 6th, the Japanese yen saw a rapid appreciation. The exchange rate briefly reached the 155 yen per dollar level. Market observers are speculating that the government and the Bank of Japan may have intervened in the currency market again to support the yen.
On the morning of the 6th, a bus and car accident occurred on the Iwasuchi Expressway in Fukushima. A 17-year-old male high school student died after being thrown from the microbus. Multiple people were seriously injured. The bus was transporting students from a local high school for a practice match.
U.S. President Trump announced a temporary halt to Project Freedom, the operation supporting shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. He stated this was due to significant progress made toward a comprehensive agreement with Iran. The temporary stop allows both parties time to finalize and sign the agreement details.
Spanish health authorities have announced that a cruise ship suspected of having a hantavirus outbreak will be accepted in the Canary Islands. Upon arrival, the ship will undergo thorough testing and treatment for all passengers and crew. This action aims to manage the potential spread of the virus in the region.
Firefighters used helicopters and drones with infrared cameras to search the Iwate forest fire area. They found 3 hotspots in 3 locations that were previously invisible. The search also spotted 3 bears nearby. Although the fire was declared out, crews continue efforts to ensure all embers are extinguished.
The court sentenced the uncle Kenko Iamori to 8 years in prison. The case involved the body of a 6-year-old girl found concrete-filled. The crime included grievous bodily harm and body disposal. The court ruling revealed the uncle's long-term custody of the body, following alleged instructions from the victim's grandfather.
The Japanese airline industry is facing a major crisis. Although passenger numbers have returned to pre-COVID levels, airlines are struggling financially. Consequently, ANA has removed seat selection, and JAL is changing its mileage system. The industry is implementing price increases and service restrictions to survive.
OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, forecasts a $50 billion investment in computing power this year. Co-founder Greg Brockman stated this during a legal dispute with Elon Musk. He noted that the company's computing spending has grown massively from only about $30 million in 2017.
次は社会のニュースです。
An accident occurred on the Iwako Expressway in Fukushima Prefecture on the morning of the 6th. The accident involved 3 vehicles, including a microbus carrying high school students. One 17-year-old male student on the microbus died. Additionally, 26 people, including high school students, sustained injuries in the incident.
Police have rearrested a suspect, Yuki Adachi, 37, regarding a case in Nantan City, Kyoto Prefecture. He is accused of murdering an elementary school boy. The police suspect that Adachi strangled the child inside a public restroom located within the city.
The Children and Families Agency released its first survey on sexual abuse in medical facilities. The results showed that 15% of hospitals and clinics reported issues. These troubles included complaints filed by patients who alleged they were abused by medical staff, such as doctors.
Research shows a decrease in young researchers with stable, permanent employment. At Kyoto University, the number of researchers under 30 fell by nearly 20% over 8 years. The count dropped from 24,000 in 2017 to 16,692 in 2025. This trend also caused the overall proportion of permanent staff to decrease.
3 bodies were discovered on the 5th in a house in Achimura Village, Nagano Prefecture. The victims were a mother and her 2 children aged 13 and 10. The older son reported to authorities that his mother had been abusing him. Authorities are currently investigating the circumstances of the deaths.
Maintaining waste disposal facilities is challenging as costs rise and populations decline. In Shiogama City, the facility, which opened in 1976, has run for over 50 years. The city initially planned a major replacement costing 16.8 billion yen. However, rising construction and material costs forced the city to abandon the plan.
In Shibukawa City, Gunma Prefecture, a man was arrested for attempting to murder a police officer during a traffic stop. The suspect was suspected of running the officer into a car. However, when he appeared at the police station, he stated he was only there because of a traffic violation. He currently denies all charges.
Typhoon number 5, Hagupit, formed in the Caroline Islands on May 6th. This is the 5th typhoon this year. Significantly, 5 typhoons have occurred consecutively from January through May. This 5-month streak has not happened in 11 years, since 2015. Caution is advised.
On the final day of the 5-day holiday, major transportation routes are experiencing heavy congestion. This traffic buildup is due to people returning to their homes and usual areas after spending time at tourist spots or in their hometowns. Trains, expressways, and airports are all seeing increased volume.
On the afternoon of the 6th, the fire department received a report that the forest was burning near the town hall in Utsuchi Town, Iwate Prefecture. Footage showed white smoke rising from the mountains within the town. Firefighters responded to the site to handle the blaze and contain the spread.
次はビジネス関連のニュースです。
The yen surged on May 6th, briefly reaching the 155 yen mark against the dollar. After fluctuating from the 157 yen level, the yen strengthened sharply. Market caution regarding currency intervention is increasing. This follows a previous intervention by the government and the Bank of Japan on April 30th.
Honda is planning to indefinitely freeze construction of its EV and battery factories in Canada. This decision was based on cooling market demand, particularly due to changes in U.S. EV policies. The facilities were meant for Ontario, Canada, and the company previously adjusted the planned start date for the EV factory.
Nissan is implementing a restructuring plan, which includes reducing its European workforce by about 10%, affecting around 900 employees. Furthermore, the Sunderland factory in the UK will consolidate its production lines. These measures aim to boost efficiency and simplify the company's overall business structure.
Japan and the Philippines agreed to establish a framework for exporting used JSDF escort vessels. This is potentially the first export case since arms restrictions were lifted. The goal is to reach an early conclusion. The agreement aims to strengthen maritime security cooperation between the two nations.
The Prime Minister has returned home after completing visits to Vietnam and Australia. These visits focused on strengthening international cooperation. The main goal was to secure and enhance supply chains for crucial energy sources and minerals.
LDP Senator Motu Suzuki met with a Russian Foreign Ministry official in Moscow. He was informed that Russia is ready to resume political dialogue with Japan. Specifically, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov proposed meeting with Japanese Foreign Minister Motegi during an upcoming international conference.
Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei said, China will need 6 to 12 months to catch up to their new AI model, Mutus. The model was restricted due to its ability to find system weaknesses. Amodei warned that cyber attacks will increase dramatically, leading to massive global economic losses.
The LDP and IP parties plan to submit a bill to reduce the number of seats in the House of Representatives by 10%. This measure will be pushed if the party and opposition councils fail to reach an agreement by the end of the month. Opposition parties, however, argue that discussing cuts is premature and too forceful.
Foreign Minister Motegi met with the South African International Relations Minister. The two leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation in several key economic fields. This includes collaboration on critical minerals and energy resources.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped over 500 points on May 4th. Selling was widespread across many stocks. The market decline was driven by increasing concerns over the Middle East situation. Meanwhile, oil prices rose due to heightened tensions, with WTI crude futures closing at $106.42 per barrel.
では、スポーツニュースをお伝えします。
In Major League Baseball, the Dodgers' Shohei Ohtani started against the Astros. He pitched for 7 innings, allowing only 2 runs and recording 8 strikeouts. Despite his strong pitching performance, the Dodgers recorded their second loss this season due to a lack of offensive support.
Regarding his recent hitting struggles, Shohei Ohtani stated that he is not pessimistic about his performance. After pitching 7 innings in the Astros game, he spoke about his slump, suggesting that perhaps the act of pitching is causing the difficulty in his hitting.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers saw Yoshinobu Yamamoto start against the Astros. He pitched 6 innings, allowing 3 runs and achieving 8 strikeouts to secure his 3rd win this season. Shohei Ohtani also contributed to scoring runs but did not record any hits.
In MLB, Masato Okamoto of the Blue Jays hit 2 hits and 1 run baited against the Rays. This was his 10th home run of the season. He has now become the 12th Japanese player to hit double-digit or 10 or more home runs in Major League Baseball.
In the NBA, the Lakers' Hamamura Rui scored 18 points during the first semifinal game against the Thunder. Although he had a strong performance, his team ultimately lost the match, marking a difficult start to their playoff run.
New U.S. media is reporting on a potential trade possibility for Lakers player Rui Hamamura. The reports suggest that his current team may be looking to make adjustments to their roster. These articles discuss the various possibilities concerning his future status and playing time.
In Major League Baseball, Murakami Munetaka of the White Sox hit his 14th home run against the Angels. This milestone placed him alongside the league's top players for total home runs across both leagues. He continues to be a major hitting force for his team.
Dina's player Cox has undergone left elbow surgery, making him unavailable for the current season. Club president Kimura stated that the team will be moving quickly to find emergency reinforcements. They plan to consider possibilities both within Japan and internationally.
The Padres have announced the return of Masui Hiroki from the injured list. He has resumed playing in the minor leagues, appearing in 11 games at the AAA level. This marks a key step in his recovery and return to the professional roster.
The J-League team, Fukushima United FC, played in the Century Project League against Mito FC. During the match, the club successfully updated the record for the oldest player to appear in the league. The team showed dedication during their matchday activities.
続いて、国際ニュースです。
The U.S. Secretary of State stated that the issue of Taiwan is highly likely to be discussed at the upcoming meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. He made this comment during a press conference in Washington. Public opinion polling shows that maintaining stability in the Taiwan Strait is viewed as very important by many people.
The Iranian foreign minister met with the Chinese foreign minister in Beijing. During the meeting, they emphasized the strong and close relationship between Iran and China. This diplomatic meeting took place ahead of the planned summit between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping.
The U.S. Secretary of State confirmed that 10 civilian crew members have died. These casualties occurred due to ongoing conflicts in the Strait of Hormuz. He addressed the media regarding the situation in the Middle East, noting that the region's instability is seen by many as a factor greatly affecting the world economy.
The ceasefire period announced by Ukrainian President Zelensky began at midnight local time. However, the Russian government has not shown any reaction. Fighting is therefore expected to continue. Russian forces attacked various locations in Ukraine, resulting in the deaths of at least 27 people.
Military invasions by Russia in Ukraine are ongoing. Combat continues between Russian and Ukrainian forces across various regions of Ukraine. As a result of the fighting, a large number of civilians are being forced to evacuate the area. Updates cover the conflict situation and diplomatic efforts.
LDP member Suzuki Su met with a deputy director of the Russian Fisheries Agency in Moscow. He reported that they discussed resuming in-person negotiations. The talks will cover the operating conditions for fishing conducted by Japan and Russia within the 200 nautical mile zone.
President Trump announced on social media that the U.S. is temporarily stopping support for vessels passing through the Strait of Hormuz. He explained this measure is to determine if a final agreement with Iran can be reached. This policy change occurred shortly after support had begun.
The U.S. Secretary of State declared that the anti-Iran military operation, which started in late February, has now concluded. He suggested this might be to avoid domestic legal constraints on military action. He stated that the operation's initial goals were achieved.
World Health Organization reported suspected cases of hantavirus on a cruise ship sailing across the Atlantic Ocean. 3 people have died from the suspected infection. This virus is mainly spread through contact with rodent droppings, and the WHO noted that transmission from person to person is rare.
President Trump announced considerable progress toward an agreement with Iran. He announced the temporary suspension of the Safe Passage Measure, Project Freedom. This pause aims to confirm the final agreement. However, he clearly stated that the existing maritime blockade will remain fully enforced.
続いて、文化・芸能ニュースをお伝えします。
A major accident occurred on the Iwami-Koshi Road in Fukushima, where a male high school student was thrown into the opposite lane and died. Separately, in Kyoto, police plan to rearrest a suspect in the Kyoto boy abandonment case on charges of murder. Meanwhile, the area is recovering from multiple accidents and a mountain forest fire in Iwate.
Kosaka Miyuki reflected on her 20-year marriage, realizing that her unhappiness stemmed from self-imposed rules. She described how she had limited her own life by trying to be the ideal wife. She stated that she was not stopping herself, but rather that she was canceling plans and restricting her own freedom.
The recent special broadcast of The Dorifters drew mixed reactions from viewers. While the show used elaborate staging and gathered many participants, some viewers complained that the addition of titles, captions, and narrations distracted them. Experts noted that adding too many supplements might reflect anxiety to the audience.
Former AKB48 member and talent Itano Yumi announced her departure from Hollywood Pro, where she had been affiliated for 19 years. She stated that after celebrating 20 years in the entertainment industry, she felt ready to advance and move forward on her own path.
The Netflix series about the famous fortune teller, Hosogi Kazuko, uses two contradictory historical sources. One source, written by Hosogi, describes her actions in her own book. However, the other source, based on a campaign against her, suggests she exploited others for financial gain.
Director Tomino Yoshiyuki, at age 84, discussed the state of modern cinema and anime. He emphasized that animation relies heavily on behind-the-scenes staff, not just the creator. He warned that modern digital techniques sometimes lack a sense of wonder and cautioned against excessive detail.
A mixed reality MR work titled Kagami Plus will premiere in Osaka, featuring the piano performance of the late Ryuichi Sakamoto. This innovative show will allow audiences to experience his music from a uniquely close, almost tangible distance, marking a significant cultural event in Japan.
The Wakura Onsen area in Ishikawa Prefecture is in the process of recovery following the Noto earthquake. Despite the damage, the area is hosting the 84th Shogi Master Tournament. Local officials hope that this event will serve as a platform to promote the region's efforts to recover nationwide.
In preparation for the Shogi Master Tournament, local residents in Wakura Onsen are promoting the region's recovery. 21 local shops have participated, offering 25 types of special menus and snacks. These dishes utilize local Noto ingredients to draw attention to the area.
Before the Aoi Festival in Kyoto, the festival heroine, the Sayodai, performed the Misoji no-gi purification ritual. At the World Heritage Site Shimogamo Shrine, she purified herself by gently immersing her hands in the water of the Mitarashi Pond.
今日のニュースは以上です。最後までお付き合いいただき、ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。